Yo, what's going on, guys? Today I'm going to be going over some of my favorite plays for this Week 3 showdown slate for Monday Night Football. Not the best game this Monday between the Bears and the Redskins, but there's still a showdown slate with a ton of money out there, a lot of big prize pools. I know DRAFTKINGS has like another $1 million or $1.25 million tournament, so a lot of money out there. We're going to go through this showdown slate and just hit on a couple guys that I really like. I'll try and talk through some roster builds as well, talk through roster construction, how I feel like I'm going to be building out my lineups. Just before we do get started though, guys, I would really appreciate it if you would drop a like on this video. Let me know down in the comments some of your favorite plays for this showdown slate. Who's going to be your top captain? Who's the captain that you're trying to get? Also, make sure you subscribe and click the notification bell so that way you'll get notified every time I upload. You'll never miss out on a new video. Really would appreciate it if you would subscribe and cut on notifications. Don't forget to drop a like as well. But let's start off with the guy I want to touch on first, Allen Robinson. So he is 14,700 if you want to use Robinson as your captain, and if you want to play him in your flex, he is 9,800. He's just behind David Montgomery for me as my top captain, top guy to go for as captain. I think Montgomery's going to be my number one captain and the guy that I play as captain in most of my lineups, but I'll for sure have some Robinson lineups, or some lineups with Robinson and captain. 20 targets through 2 games. He's going to get the ball. Mitchell Trubisky's been pretty bad this year. He's been terrible so far, but he's still going to get Allen Robinson the ball. He's going to get the targets. I'm not worried about the matchup with Josh Norman. Josh Norman just really ever since he went to Washington, he hasn't been the same cornerback. He just hasn't been that good. He's not that scary of a matchup. I think Robinson will be able to get open. He's going to get the targets. He's definitely one of the top projected players on the slate, and if you can fit him in at captain, I think he's definitely captain worthy. Always want to make sure if you're paying up for a receiver at captain that you have the quarterback in that lineup. So if you're going to pay up for Allen Robinson as your captain, I think you definitely want to have Mitchell Trubisky in that lineup. You always want to correlate your lineups well on these showdown slates. That's definitely key to winning these tournaments. I do like going to Allen Robinson a lot as a captain play, but he's definitely behind David Montgomery. David Montgomery is probably my favorite play on this showdown slate and the guy that I'm going to be going to the most at captain. I expect him to be my highest owned captain throughout my lineups. After a terrible week 1, Montgomery did bounce back in week 2. He got 13.8 DK points. He did get 19 touches. He got 18 carries. I think he got 3 targets as well. Did catch one of those 3 targets. He's clearly the number 1 running back for the Bears right now. Tariq Cohen will still be involved, and he'll still get work in pass down situations. They'll even put Tariq Cohen out wide as a wide receiver. But if it's a game where the Bears are up a touchdown, 2 touchdowns, they have a lead, they're going to be handing the ball off to David Montgomery a lot. And I think this is a game where we could see that. Right now the Bears are favored by 4.5. So this could be a game where the Bears are playing with the lead and they just kind of feed David Montgomery. Honestly, would be surprised if he gets less than 20 touches. I think he's in a really good spot. It's a good matchup against this Redskins defense. Their run defense, not that good, not a good run defense. Very good matchup for David Montgomery. So I like going to him as a captain play. He's a little bit cheaper than Allen Robinson, 14,100. I think he's like 400 cheaper. So he makes a lot of sense as a captain play for me, and probably going to be the guy that I use in most of my lineups as a captain. Really like the spot for David Montgomery, and definitely a guy that I'm going to be trying to pay up for as much as possible. But the next guy we're going to look at is from the Redskins. On the running back side for the Redskins, I really like Chris Thompson here. He's definitely the running back that I want to go to if I'm going to be picking a running back from the Redskins. I'm not a believer in Adrian Peterson right now at this point in his career. He's just not very efficient. I was looking at his game log from last week when he got the start. I believe he got like 10 carries for 25 yards. Not efficient at all. Averaged like 2 yards a carry. He managed to get into the end zone though. He did get like a really short, like 2 or 3 yard touchdown. That kind of salvaged his day. I think he had like 11 DraftKings points in his last outing. He's just not that high of upside player. Chris Thompson, on the other hand, very high upside player, especially for DraftKings scoring where it's full PPR, where you get a full point per reception. Thompson gets receiver-like targets. So far this year, through 2 games, he's seen 18 targets through those 2 games. He's always been involved in the passing game. Even before Darius Geis got hurt, Thompson was getting work in the passing game. With Darius Geis injured, you expect he just sees even more volume. He's not going to get a ton of carries. He's not going to run the ball a ton. That's just not what he does. But if they're playing from behind, if they're forced to throw, which I imagine they will be, against this Bears defense. I don't see the Redskins really winning this game. I think the Bears do come out with a victory in this game. It's going to lean to them having Chris Thompson on the field a lot, so really like him on DraftKings. I think he's captain worthy if you want to go with a little bit of a cheaper captain. He's 11,100. If you want to play him at the captain, he's 7,400 in the flex. Chris Thompson, definitely one of my favorite plays from the Washington side. Washington's definitely like not in a good spot, having to face this really good Bears defense. They have a low total. I think they have like an 18 implied team total. I don't love a ton of Washington players, but one guy that I do like from that Washington side is Chris Thompson. I think he's going to be the running back that has the most success in this matchup. I just don't see Adrian Peterson being able to have much success against this Bears front. Just don't see him being able to get a ton of yards, a ton of carries. I think Chris Thompson is going to be very involved in this game. So he's a guy that I like quite a bit in that mid-tier. But now the next guy I want to talk about from the Bears, I do want to give you guys a couple of value plays, since we did talk about some of the expensive guys like David Montgomery, like Allen Robinson. One value play that I like is Taylor Gabriel. He's only 4,400, only included his flex price because I don't think I'm going to be using him as a captain. But as a flex play, a cheap flex play for 4,400, he does stand out when you're searching for value. In terms of targets for the Bears, I would say he's next in line behind Allen Robinson and Trey Quinn. Both of those guys are probably going to get anywhere from 6 to 9 targets, but you'll definitely see about 4, 5, 6 targets go to Taylor Gabriel. The box score doesn't look great through 2 games. I know he's got under double digits in both games this year, so that should keep him somewhat low owned. It's a showdown slate. It's a 1-game slate, so pretty much everybody's going to get ownership, at least guys that are going to be on the field. They're going to be owned somewhat, but I don't see Taylor Gabriel being like 60, 70% owned. I think he's going to probably come in like the 20 to 30% range, and I definitely want to be overweight on that number. Gabriel's just one of those players that has a ton of upside, a lot of speed. He can break a long touchdown. One of those speed guys that always gives you big playability. On showdown slates, I think it's very important to search for that. Search for that guy that has that big playability that can go for a 70-yard, 80-yard touchdown. I think Taylor Gabriel also returns punts. I'm not exactly sure on that, but if he does return punts, that's just an added bonus. If he gets a kick return or a punt return for a touchdown, you do get 6 points for that. So that's always a bonus as well on a 1-game showdown slate. But searching for value from the Bears side, I do like Taylor Gabriel at only 4,400. Could definitely see him putting up a line where he goes for like 4 or 5 catches for 50 yards. Maybe he gets into the end zone. If he does, he's going to be a great value play at this price tag. So if I'm searching for value, if I'm not trying to play the kickers or the defenses, usually I don't go to the kickers or defenses because they just don't give you the most upside. Taylor Gabriel is definitely a pivot away from the kickers and the defenses. I think the defenses, though, in this game, or the kickers and defenses in this game, do have a little bit more appeal because this is a game that's probably going to be low scoring. You're not going to see a ton of points scored. And usually kickers and defenses are always viable plays in those low scoring, low total games. So I could see going there, but still, I really like going to receivers if I can, and Taylor Gabriel for 4,400 definitely stands out as a cheap receiver. But then the last guy we're going to talk about, another cheap receiver, is Trey Quinn. He's only 3,800 if you want to use him in your flex. He is another guy that does stand out when you're searching for value. Other than going to the kickers and defenses, obviously, you could look to guys like Trey Quinn, like Taylor Gabriel. So far this year, through 2 games, he has gotten 13 targets, which is not bad at all for this price tag. Usually guys that are this cheap just barely get on the field. Trey Quinn's actually going to be on the field for a decent amount. He's going to play a decent amount of snaps. He should see anywhere from 5 to 8 targets. You could definitely see Trey Quinn put up a similar outing to what I said for Taylor Gabriel, like 5 catches, 50 yards, and a touchdown. Could easily see Trey Quinn doing that as well. Terry McLaurin has been incredible for the Redskins so far this year. He's definitely been their best receiver. He's going to garner a lot of attention on this showdown slate. I don't expect guys like Trey Quinn to get a lot of attention. Paul Richardson as well, another guy that probably won't get looked at very much. I definitely like going to some of the other Redskins receivers that we have other than McLaurin. None of these guys are in great matchups. It's a terrible matchup against the Bears. Bears have a really good secondary. I don't see anybody just going off for this Redskins team. So if I can just find a cheap guy that's going to get a couple targets for the Redskins, I think that's something I'm going to want to do. So I really like going to Trey Quinn at only 3,800. The Redskins do have McLaurin, who they can throw the ball to. Vernon Davis has been seeing some targets as well. They do have Paul Richardson in pass down situations. They'll have Chris Thompson on the field. But Trey Quinn should definitely get a fair amount of targets. And for only 3,800, He does stand out as a really cheap value play that you can look to if you're trying to go cheap. Just talking about roster construction real quick before we end the video. I was building out a lineup earlier, and you can definitely build out a pretty good lineup with all these 5 or 6 guys that I mentioned. If you go with Montgomery at your captain, you could go Montgomery, Allen Robinson. You could play Mitchell Trubisky, I believe, and then you go with a couple cheap guys, Quinn, Gabriel. Pretty sure if you do that, that leaves you enough to play Chris Thompson. So that's a lineup build that you could do that I was looking at before I started recording. I do like going that route. Just remember, if you're playing up for a receiver at your captain, if you're playing Allen Robinson at captain, make sure to have Mitchell Trubisky in those lineups. If you're playing a quarterback at captain, which usually I don't do, but if you're playing either Case Keenum or Mitchell Trubisky at captain, you probably want to pair them with 2 of the pass catchers that they have. So if you're playing Trubisky at captain, you probably want to have Allen Robinson and maybe Taylor Gabriel in those lineups. If you're playing Case Keenum at captain, you probably want to have Trey Quinn in there, maybe Terry McLaurin. Or if you don't want to go to McLaurin, you could play Chris Thompson because of how well he catches balls. So I always want to discuss that correlation, because correlation is very important on these showdown slates if you're looking to take down a tournament. But yeah, guys, I think that's pretty much it for all the picks for this showdown slate. Hopefully you guys did enjoy the video. Thank you so much for watching. Make sure you drop a like down below. Let me know in the comment section some of your favorite plays on this showdown slate. If you got any sleepers, feel free to leave them down in the comments below. Let me know who's your top captain, who's the captain that you want to get to, the guy that you're going to be trying to pay for the most. And before you get out of here, please be sure to hit that subscribe button, click the notification bell so that way you get notified every time I upload a new video. You'll never miss out on a new video. I'm putting out a ton of NFL content, pretty much uploading NFL videos just about every day. And once NBA season starts, I will be uploading NBA videos daily. I'm very excited for NBA season. I think we're going to have a great year this year. I'm excited to do NBA videos with this new format. So make sure you guys subscribe, click the notification bell so you'll never miss out on a new video. And I think that's pretty much it, guys. Thank you so much for watching, and we will see you in the next one. Good luck tonight. Peace.